So several years ago, I was contracted by a large 135 operator to help them put a number of airplanes on their certificate. And so I spent day after day, week after week, reviewing the logbooks, getting the maintenance history of the airplane, and conforming the airplane to put on the certificate. After a couple of months of that, I was to the point where waking up in the morning, I didn't know whether to shoot myself or open a logbook. They both felt like the same thing was going to happen to me. So one morning, I had a breakfast meeting scheduled with a friend of mine. I went to breakfast, and he asked me the wrong question, which was, how's it going with conforming all those airplanes? And I started on a rant about the condition of logbooks and how hard it was to find the information and how time-consuming it was. But Bill, my friend, had brought along another friend whom I didn't know, who sat listening to me rant on my rant. And once I settled down, he says to me, why don't you scan all the logbooks and OCR them, and then you can text search for all the information you say you're looking for? It would be much easier. And so I looked at him and I said, all right, this is 2005. I said, how do you know about scanning records and OCRing them? Because I have no idea what OCR even is. And he replied that he was the retired CEO of the largest digital imaging company in the world, and that he had been scanning and archiving and arranging for searching of documents since the 1950s when he was a private in the Air Force. So, I thought, okay, he knows what he's talking about. I asked him if he could come take a look at the logbooks and tell me if what he was saying could actually be done. And he did. And actually, he made several trips down there. We discussed logbooks at length. And about 2 weeks later, in comes the vice president of IT of the company that Dick used to be the CEO from. And he looks at it and he says, yeah, I think we can come up with something where we can create what is equivalent of a Word document that you're familiar working with, that you can search and do all the finding of information that you need. So they developed the software for me, and for a long time I would use it when I was doing aircraft conformities, pre-purchase inspections, that type of thing. I would scan the logbooks and I would text search for the information, saving me countless hours. And that eventually developed into a software that I knew other operators would be interested in, doing the same thing I was doing, having the same advantage. Plus, I realized it was also providing a true electronic backup of the logbooks, because when you audit logbooks, the one common theme that you find is that information comes up missing. And this is a way to prevent that from happening. If you gain it electronically, you're always going to have it. Right. I realize that everyone that does what I do, say aircraft pre-purchase type of technical appraisals, that type of thing, if they could be sitting in Los Angeles and need to look at the logbooks of an airplane that's in New York, it would be a great thing to have that logbook on a server that from Los Angeles I could look at the logbook, instead of the way we've been doing things for years, which is I get on an airplane and I fly to New York. I disrupt the flight department because I'm there in their office working when they're trying to get done. And I spend a tremendous amount of money and a lot of my time to accomplish something I could have if the logbook images were just electronic and I could see them from my home in Los Angeles.